Welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. My name is Rory, and I'm here with Chef Marc from the Capital Grille at the Galleria Mall. Chef, welcome to the beautiful Ally Kitchen and Bath Showroom. We thank you for being here. Walk us through what we're going to make today. I believe it's going to be a ribeye steak, and it was supposed to be a lobster mac and cheese, but you forgot the lobster because you know I'm allergic to it.
I did.
So I appreciate you taking my food allergies into consideration. So what's the success to an amazing ribeye steak at the Capital Grille?
It's a great question. What we do, we dry age most of our meats. This one we don't dry age. It comes in prime.
Okay.
Which is, it has a lot more marbling, a lot more flavor. So this is one of our more popular dishes that we're going to make today. It's our Porcini Crusted Del Monaco. What we do is we make a dry age of porcini rub, and I'll go over all the ingredients in a second with you. And what we do is we rub our steaks on it from about 3 to 4 hours. We keep them marinated so some of that flavor permeates through the meat.
So you just hire a guy to sit there and rub steak for 3 to 4 hours?
Our broiler cook does that every day.
Perfect.
Yeah. So then basically what he does is when the order comes in, he'll take it out of his refrigerated drawer. He'll get a good hot sear on it and finish it in the oven. And we'll cook it to the desired temper that the guest would like.
Sounds good. Walk me through it. Let's go.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll make the dry rub. So we start out with porcini powder.
What is a porcini powder?
Porcini powder is ground porcinis. They're dried out in an oven at a low temperature, and then they're kind of pulverized into a powder.
Okay.
And we do ground black pepper, crushed red pepper, kosher salt, and sugar. So what we do is we mix that all up.
I think sugar is an interesting add.
It just kind of brings out some of the sweetness in the steak, because the steak's very heavily marbled and fatty, so it kind of cuts that a little bit.
Now this is my favorite cut of steak. I don't think I've ever added sugar to it in my life.
Okay, so what we do next is I put a little bit of olive oil on it. Kind of coat the steak a little bit. And we'll do that on both sides. So you want to get it on both sides, so that way when you dredge it in the porcini rub, it kind of sticks to it. So you want to get like a nice heavy crust on it. And again, when we do this at the restaurant, we do it 3 to 4 hours ahead of time. That way it gives a chance for the flavor to really come out. You can see right there, you see the porcini dust on it, you can see some of the red pepper flakes and so on.
It smells good.
Yeah, it tastes even better. So here you go, we got the pan, there's a little bit of olive oil in it.
Now you preheated your pan before you did this.
I did. Just take these off real quick. I don't want to get your set dirty. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this nice and high. And by cooking it really in a high heat, it kind of sears it off and forms a crust on it. Keeps the flavor inside. So what we do is, you hear that?
The sizzle?
Yeah, that's kind of what you want. You want to saute it. Saute means high heat, low fat. So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to get a nice crust on it.
And how long are you doing that for each side?
I'm going to probably do about 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and then we're going to finish it off in the oven. We'll cook it to about a rare, mid-rare.
And on the oven, what's the temperature for that?
I usually do it about 450 degrees to 500 degrees. You want to keep it nice and hot so it keeps all those flavors and all the juices locked inside the steak.
All right, we're doing that for about 4 to 5 minutes in the oven?
Yes.
Okay.
And then after we take it out of the oven, we'll let the meat rest. That way it can kind of settle in and relax a little bit. A lot of times people make the mistake, they cut their meat right away and all the juices go out. You want your meat to rest probably about a minute or 2 minutes before we serve it to our guests. It relaxes the steak, it evenly distributes the juice inside, and it makes a huge difference. So what we're gonna do after we let that rest a little bit, we'll cut it up. And at Capital Grille, what we do is we have a 12-year-old aged balsamic vinegar, which we drizzle a little bit, about a teaspoon or 2 on it, and extra virgin olive oil, just to kind of give it that extra oomph of flavor.
This just sounds incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it starting to form the crust around it. So we'll let it go for another minute or 2, and then we'll put it in the oven and let the oven do its magic.
So what's the secret to the Capital Grille success? What are you guys really known for?
There's so many secrets that we do. You know,
what are the secrets you can tell me?
The secrets I can tell without losing my job right now is our service. Our service is top notch. We don't say no to the guests. We try to make sure that they leave and they're extremely happy. I mean, our meat comes in, we dry age all our meat, 18 to 21 days. We have a humidity and temperature controlled room just for our meats. And I think that makes a huge difference, our meats versus other people's meats. So we give it one more final flip. You can see the sear on it, and then we're gonna finish it off in the oven.
All right, so the steak has been in the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Yep.
So we're next is to take it out and dive into it.
Let it rest a little bit. You see how the crust came up?
This looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look good. All right, so this is our Porcini Del Monaco. Okay, as you can see, all the fat. The ribeye has a little bit more marbling than most steaks. You can see all the fat right there. You can see the nice crust from the porcini rub. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just let it sit for like 1 or 2 minutes, let some of all those juices kind of distribute nice and evenly, and we'll cut it up. We'll try it.
I'm all about it.
You let me know what you think. Okay.
I'm all about it. And then after this, we're gonna focus on a lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah,
the
our famous lobster mac and cheese sans the lobster.
And then you'll also give us a preview of the generous pour, as well as your take-home butcher box.
Yep, we'll do both. I brought our generous pour expert with us today, and he'll gladly enlighten everybody, including myself.
A generous pour expert. He just drinks a lot, or what makes you an expert in generous pour?
He knows all the bottles. He's tasted all the bottles. He's done a lot of research on it with the winemaker and the story about all the generous pour, and he'll get into all that stuff. That's why he's the expert and I'm not. I'll stick to the steaks.
And you've been at Capital Grille for 16 years, you just told me.
16 years last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy anniversary, birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
If I'd known, I would have got you a balloon and a card.
Not necessary. So let's go ahead and open this up, let it rest it a little bit. We'll see some of the juices come out. And,
now, is there a secret to cutting a steak open?
There really isn't. You know, I'm a firm believer in letting the meat rest. Once it comes out of an oven, and you open it, you know, a lot of people cut it in the middle, some people cut it right on the end. It all depends on the steak temperature, the steak cut, and the quality of the meat. You know, I'm a big believer in working my way from the end to the inside, so that gives the meat a chance to rest. It also, the temperature right in the middle is gonna be a little bit less cooked than the outside. And it also, again, depends on the bone. Closest to the bone, it's a little undercooked. So again, it depends on the quality of the meat, the cut of the steak, and you know, the temperature of the steak. So I cooked it to about rare, mid-rare, I hope, and we'll cut it after we let it rest a little bit, and you can see what it looks like on the inside, and I'll let you taste it, and you can tell a big difference between a steak that was cut right away. It'll bleed out, and the steak temperature will look a lot more cooked than it actually is. So that's why it's imperative that you let your steak rest for a couple minutes to get that.
I'm learning so much today.
Yeah, you know what? We can do this all day long. So here we go. We cut the steak right now. You can see how beautiful, how juicy it is.
This just smells incredible.
Yeah, and it looks incredible too, I gotta say. I'm smiling underneath the mask. Okay, so here it is. This is our Porcini Del Monaco. You can see right here the temperature. You can see how it's all the juices.
Like a gradient.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a great piece of meat. I love cooking the Del Monacos just because of the heavy fat content on it. Just beautiful, packed full of flavor. And what we do at the restaurant, we drizzle a little bit of that 12-year-old aged balsamic vinegar on it, just to cut some of that fat a little bit with the tartness from the balsamic.
And is that balsamic vinaigrette made specifically for the Capital Grille?
No. They sell it in all the stores, different ages of it. This one's aged 12 years. Gives it time to mature, so some of the sweetness and the sugars come out of it, and it's a great counterbalance with the heaviness of the meat and the Del Monaco with all the marbling in it.
Gotcha.
We also drizzle it with just a touch of extra virgin olive oil. And what I do at the restaurant, I take a little fleur de sel and put it on the steak. Voila. So now you have to taste it. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let me cut it for you. There you go. Enjoy.
I'm gonna break my own rule here.
Uh-oh. At least 6 feet. What do you think?
Chef, I'm gonna leave here and head to the Capital Grille, and I'm gonna order one. This is incredible.
It's a great idea. Anyways, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and that's our Porcini Del Monaco.
Chef, that was certainly incredible. When we come back, we're gonna meet with the rest of the Capital Grille team to talk about the generous pour and more. Stick around.
We've actually created Allied Kitchen and Bath with several things in mind, and that is the culture of our company and the quality of work that we do, so that people can come to our showroom and truly get a unique and different experience, knowing we are going to stand behind their work 110%. Whether it be today, tomorrow, or in the future, Allied will always be there for our clients. That's one thing we will never sacrifice.
Welcome back to In the Kitchen with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Again, we're here at the Allied Kitchen and Bath Showroom with Chef Marc from the Capital Grille at the Galleria Mall. You just had us walk through an incredible ribeye steak, one of my favorite dishes, so I appreciate the fact that, one, I learned how to cook a steak the right way, and I learned some new tricks as to what the proper way is to cut it, how you guys season it, so I'm grateful for that.
Some of the tricks of the trade.
Absolutely. Yeah. And next we're going to walk through one of your popular dishes. It's the Lobster Mac and Cheese, but because you know I'm allergic to lobster, you said we're not going to bring lobster.
I didn't bring it anywhere near you.
So I greatly appreciate that. So Chef, walk me through what the Lobster Mac and Cheese without the lobster looks like.
Yeah, well, this is one of our most popular sides at the Capital Grille, so that's why I chose that to do that today. So what we're going to do two things. We're going to make the sauce. That's really the main ingredient of the mac and cheese is the sauce that we use. We use 4 cheeses in it. We use, so I'm going to go ahead and get it started while I talk through it. So we use heavy cream. That's scalding the heavy cream. Put that in there like that.
So you start with a pot that's already hot?
Yeah, we do. And that kind of removes some of the bitterness. So after we put our heavy cream in, we're going to add mascarpone cheese. Uh-oh. So we got mascarpone cheese. We have Havarti cheese.
Mascarpone cheese, Havarti cheese.
Yeah, a lot of cheese in there. Very cheesy.
That makes sense, given it's mac and cheese.
Yep, and Parmesan cheese. Okay. So what we do, I'm sorry, that's cheddar cheese, white cheddar. So what we do now is we simmer the heavy cream with a little bit of salt.
And this is your kosher salt?
That's my kosher salt. So once that simmers for about 5 minutes, we add all our cheeses. And once we add the cheeses, we let that kind of work its way through. And we whisk it up and we make sure that all the cheeses melt throughout the sauce. All our ingredients are in our pot right here. What I have right here is the sauce already made. So I add the campanelle pasta, which is the pasta that we use at our restaurant, the Capital Grille. We kind of mix it all in there.
Now, is there a reason why you use this pasta over others?
I'm not really sure the reason. I know that the pasta, because of its shape, it holds some of the sauce inside. So maybe that be maybe the rationale they used when they picked the pasta.
All right.
So we're going to go with it today, with the campanelle pasta, and it's available in all the stores. You can see it. So what we do is we add that. We add the pasta to the sauce, and once that comes together and the cheese is all melted, we take that. And we're going to put it in our stab roasting dish right here.
And then after this, you're going to throw it into the oven, right?
Nope.
No.
Close.
I'm ahead of myself.
There's one little twist. Okay, so what we do, put it in the stab dish, like that, okay? We take our panko breadcrumbs, which are fortified with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and butter. We roast it off in the oven. Then we're gonna take that, we're gonna put a little bit on top. Gives it a little bit of texture, a little bit of crunch to it when you're eating. You know, mac and cheese is very cheesy. The pasta's a little bit cooked, so it's a little bit al dente. So what we do is once we put the breadcrumbs on top, we're going to put it in the oven.
All right, so I was one step ahead. And then how long does it live in the oven?
It typically takes about 3 to 4 minutes if it's about a 400 to 500 degree oven. And you want it to kind of bubble up and you know have that texture of the cheese oozing through it. And it's just a great visual to see the cheese kind of bubbling up on there and make sure it's hot through and through. After we put it in the oven, we wait about 3 to 4 minutes, let it get nice and hot through and some of the cheese to melt, and then we'll take it out of the oven.
Look at it just coming over the sides.
Yep. See it bubbling up a little bit right there. Browned off a little bit, and there you have it. That's the mac and cheese.
We're here with Ben from the Capital Grille, one of the managing partners. One thing that you guys are doing is really allowing people to really be socially distant, and if they're not so sure that they want to go out yet and still venture in. We are living in an awkward time where we're literally standing here hosting a show wearing a mask.
Yeah, so we've done some really cool stuff. You know, what you're actually going to see right here is what we call it's called the Capital Butcher. It is our signature steaks that you can purchase in a box form. It's almost like you're going to a department store, picking out what you want. We'll put it all in a box for you, put a nice bow on it, and you can take it home.
Walk us through what the generous pour is, and I believe you said earlier before we started the show was that you can actually take the generous pour home.
You can actually take that home with you as well, and you know I'll start with that, and then we'll really go into what the generous pour is this season. But Again, just something else that we wanted to do during these times was to be able to offer a true Capital Grille experience in the comfort of your own home, okay? So with the Generous Pour for the first time ever, you can actually purchase the bottles from us. You can actually purchase it as a 2-pack, a 5-pack, or you can get all 7 bottles, right? When you do purchase that, we're gonna get those bottles for you. You're actually gonna get some of the wine glasses that are labeled the Capital Grille Generous Pour. You know, say it's gonna be 2 of you eating at your home and you order a 2-pack, we'll give you 2 glassware to go home with. And then it's actually got a QSR barcode that you can scan on your phone, and the owner and the winemaker for this year's Generous Pour actually was kind enough to do a whole video specifically for the Capital Grille, where you can actually watch this guy, his name's Dave Finney, explain the entire Capital Grille Generous Pour on your TV or on your smartphone while you're drinking the wine. He'll go through every one of them, and then while you're eating the steaks.
You said you were going to walk us through what the Generous Pour would be in the restaurant.
Yeah, the Generous Pour, you know, we didn't really change it a whole lot this year. If you wanted to do the Generous Pour, it's $28 per person. You do need to buy either lunch or dinner. You can get it at lunch or dinner. You can get it in the bar area or the lounge. You can get it outside on the terrace, or you can get it inside the dining room. When you choose to do it, the server will really walk you through the experience based on the food that you choose to eat, and then pair it with the wine. So for instance, typically we would start with, for say, the rosé. You know, as soon as you choose to do it, let's pour you a little rosé, get you started, nice palate cleanser before you begin the meal. People usually go into soup, salads, appetizers. That's where we're gonna pour off our Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand or our Chardonnay from California. As you go into the entrees, the meats, the fish dishes, that's when we're really gonna start with the reds. This year we have a blend from Spain. We have another blend, which is the Abstract here from California. We have another blend from France. And then finally, we would kind of finish up with the star of the show, which is the Palermo. That's the Cabernet, that's the biggest and nicest wine that we chose to do this year. It's an incredible experience. Again, we didn't change the price point even during this pandemic. It's $28, just like it has been years past. And you know, I think it's really incredible that we were able to offer that to our guests again this year.
Ben, thank you so much. We really appreciate your partnership, and we appreciate you walking us through what this is. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival in the beautiful Allied Kitchen and Bath Showroom on Oakland Park Boulevard, just east of I-95.
Our community has to really come together, support our local restaurants, and you know, we're doing that by just doing these cooking shows here, and also with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Wine and Food Festival coming together, promoting our local restaurants, and we're proud to be a partner with them. And just want to say thank you once again, Chef Marc, Rory, thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to getting through these times together. We will get out of this and on to bigger and better things. Really looking forward to the times we get back where we can dine. But thank you, everyone.